Hey, sumimasen, what's up? It's a culture detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm back. I'm still alive for some reason, and I'm going to do an album review on the latest Tricot album, 10. So Tricot is a math rock band from Kyoto, Japan, the cultural capital of Japan. And this is actually their second album of the year. Earlier this year, they released Makuro, or Pure Black, and I thought it was really, really good. Even though it's not mind blowing or anything, it's pretty much your meat and potatoes math rock with very passionate performances and really well written chord progressions and vocal melodies. Still, I really enjoyed that album. I gave that album an 8 out of 10. And to my surprise, they have released another album, 10. And yeah, they're back. And in my review of Tricot's Makudo, I didn't say each member's names, and I feel like I have to do that. We have Nakajima Ikumi, or Iku, as the vocalist. For the guitarist, we have Kida Makoto, and for the bassist, we have Sagane Hiromi, and the drummer is Yoshida Yusuke. And together, they are Tricot. So, the album opens off with Omae, which means you, and it's kind of funny because Radiohead's first album also started off with you. Fiery rolling drums, screaming, energetic guitars, passionate vocal performances. It's friggin' awesome. It is everything you expect from a passionate math rock album, and with a bit more energy to it, which is really, really fantastic. And there's so much more energy in this track and in this album in general than in Makudo. There are some moments on the album where it almost borderlines on pop punk, but it never really goes to pop punk because it isn't loud and playful enough. But still, there are a lot of loud moments on this album, which is pretty cool. Afterwards, we have Summer Night Town. This is a really, really, really good song. Oh my gosh, I've been repeatedly listening to this track for quite some time now. And it is another very passionate math rock track with amazing performances. Ikumi's vocals are amazing, but actually on this track we have three vocalists, and their singing is all pretty good. They have a lot of chemistry, they sing off of one another, and it's fantastic. It's dense. The verses are more toned down, but it builds up perfectly to a more loud and climactic chorus, which is fantastic. The guitars are smooth and runny, and the vocal harmonies have an autumn fall vibe to them, which is really fitting to our time. And also, this track is, I know it's, it's Japanese rock music. Of course, it sounds kind of anime-esque, but this one sounds particularly anime-esque, and I don't really mind it. In a way, it almost kind of reminds me of the ending theme song for Bunny Girl Senpai, Fukugashi no Kare, but in a really nice way. And also, we have lyrics about. Now, I don't read Japanese. I don't know Japanese, but I went through the lyrics, and I think the choruses are sort of about having sweet dreams in a summer night town, and I guess that's one of the running themes of the album, I believe, because I looked at a lot of the lyrics of the tracks, and themes of the night and the sea are being repeated over and over again in multiple tracks. Anyways, we have the third track, Warp, which is it's all right. It's a bit of a letdown, I have to admit. The chord progression is kind of stagnant. The hook is weak. Wah poo wah poo wah poo. It's kind of weak, and I think the vocals are good, but it doesn't live up to the previous track. The fourth track is Hako, or box, and this track is great. We have hand claps, we have one bass note constantly being flickered over and over again, creating a bed of bass, really. Sharp, vibrant vocal harmonies, as well as hand drums, and the whole track feels intricate, dense, and the melodies are very summery. The chorus is very dreamy and expressive. It's amazing. And afterwards, we have fried rice. In Japanese, it's chahan. It's funny because I just had fried rice for lunch. We got a laid back instrumental, whistles, breathy vocals. That being said, though, not one of the more memorable tracks, in my opinion. The track Agenai, or Not Giving, is a 2 minute 50-second long track where Ikumi just repeats Agenai tsumorite over and over and over and over again, which means I'm not giving it intentionally, like I mean it, and that's the whole track. And it's kind of redundant, especially with the constantly cycling guitars. But afterwards, the rest of the album is pretty great. We have Itazura, or Prank, which is a passionate rock jam with a very memorable chorus, fiery guitars, and I like how the chord progression of this track has a hint of nostalgia, which is really nice. And then another highlight on the album for me is Yureisen, or Ghost Boat, Haunted Boat, and it's a very summery and lovely track with an emotional performance, and also very expressive lyrics about the night, the sea, how cold it is, and also hearing sounds of a flute in a distance, I believe. When I read the lyrics, I can only read the kanji, so cut me some slack here, okay? Anyway, second to last track is Laststep, in one word, and it's a slow burn track with steady 4/4 drums, and it's not that memorable of a track. I don't know why, but the very innocent sounding vocal performance sort of reminds me of Yonsei from Siros, which is an Icelandic post-rock band. But that being said, the track isn't really all that memorable, and it doesn't have that emotional potency. However, the album ends off fierily with Karada, or body. And of course, the lyrics is about a body being washed up to the shore by the sea, to the shore by the sea, and then at the end, a flock of birds sort of pick on the flesh on the body. Pretty graphic. And then we have these rough and distorted guitars, breathy vocals, and also a section in the middle of the track where it gets disorienting and windy, and then at the very end it sort of cools down. It has a pretty jazzy ending, and it's a really good album ending. So overall, I love this album. I think it's another really good album from Trico, and I really look forward to whatever they have up next. Again, it doesn't blow my mind or anything. It's meat and potatoes, math rock, very passionate and energetic performances. Ikumi's vocals are really good, as well as other vocals, honestly. And I like the lyrics, even though I don't know much of them. My favorite track here is Summer Night Town, and my least favorite track here, maybe Agenai, or Warp. And I'm giving Trico's 10 a light to decent 8 out of 10. So if you're listening to Trico's 10 from 1 to 10, I'm going to just rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Trico, Jew. It's not 10, it's Jew. I will be reviewing Trippie Red, Pegasus, Reasons, New Beginnings, Odraza, Jechom, Molchato Ma with Monument, and King Gizzard's KG very soon.